Welcome to another episode of Trash Talk Podcast. We are getting closer and closer to 100.
Yes.
What are we doing for 100?
I think I suggested before that we do nothing special and then just randomly do a special.
Yeah, you said that.
But that's also kind of boring. Well,
I would have been. It's like when does it happen? Like 2-3 months?
well, this is podcast 86 if I'm not miscounting.
Yes, I think so.
Which means that it's 14 weeks removed.
Yeah.
Which is 2.5 months.
So it doesn't quite coincide. It doesn't
months.
quite coincide with JJ's wedding. We could have had a cool special there if that was the case, but that's a few months later. Maybe we'll talk about that in the podcast after that, or maybe you'll tell us all about it in the podcast 100 because it's a special event, and so far you've kept kind of in the darks about that. Like you haven't told a lot of people a lot of details, and there's just speculation going around on social media, and the internet is going crazy about not knowing what's about to happen. So maybe podcast 100 if we don't have anything else. Would that be all right? We'll see. We'll plan, and maybe you could disclose some details. But before we ever think about that, we have a good show today. Let me remind you and everyone listening to this that you can at any point suggest topics for us to discuss in this podcast. If you want us to hear talk about questions you want us to answer, or general questions of life and the philosophy within to talk about. And to do that, you can either leave a comment or, which you should also do, join our TrashcanTV Discord server. A link to that is in the description of this video, along with our Twitter. And you can join the Discord server. Different channels there, Hearthstone related, Cookie Clicker related, and talk some private stuff to us, but also suggest or provide some ideas for podcast topics and talk Hearthstone if you want to.
I mean, I guess the special podcast is number 104.
104? Because 2 full years?
Yes.
That's 2 special podcasts.
And it's not just that it's 2 years, roughly by just it being 104 weeks of podcasts, but also I believe we released our first video on a Thursday, which then 2 years later would, if my math isn't off, be then a Saturday on the exact same date.
Right.
So I think it would be exactly 2 years after the release of our first video.
Exactly 2 days?
2
2 years? That would be great. If that's the case, then we can do some for 104. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Which doesn't necessarily preclude us from doing anything for 100,
yeah,
but...
Exactly, yeah, sure. We'll see about that. But yeah, go join the Discord server, TrashcanTV Discord server, and hang out with us. Do it now. And come back to this video. But assuming you've done that already, thank you very much, and we have some nice stuff to talk about today. Now, last time we kind of got into this, hinted at it, but we didn't want to continue more because last podcast, although interesting, was running long. The whole zombie apocalypse thing that you brought up, like, kind of the basic idea that you came up with when we were playing The Walking Dead episode 3 in the final season, which we recently did, go check that out if you want, is you notice that like guys like AJ have never experienced the pre-apocalyptic world. So what you were saying is, how would it shape out once there's only people like that in the world?
Yes.
Because of course people are, first of all, rapidly dying, but how is like the long term, not just a year to year, but like a few decades after the outbreak? How would the
Okay,
world
so
look?
for starters, let's, I guess, lay some ground rules to keep it interesting.
Yes.
I know you asked before about like the idea of zombies starving, and I'm pretty sure the show mentioned something in that direction, but let's just assume that they don't.
So they stick around unless we shoot them all.
Yes, because otherwise it's gonna just be regular life with different burial rites.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you guys still gotta burn corpses, but that would be about it.
Exactly. That way, then once all zombies are starved and people are still alive by then.
Because at that point we're just talking about a general post-apocalyptic rebuilding. But I feel like we want to keep the zombie aspect in there.
How is it that like at what point is the zombie virus no longer a thing? At what point are people no longer infected?
Well, I mean, theoretically it would get passed on, so unless immunity was developed. And then, of course, as an advantageous trait passed down, I guess the virus would just keep existing.
I don't think that natural selection would matter, though, because it's a thing that only occurs after death. so it doesn't help you survive in any way, which means that it's not gonna be favored by natural selection, right?
Well, no, but then again, humans have already pretty much screwed over natural selection as a concept as well.
Yeah, that's true. But okay, so I'm kind of curious. So is it just like the whole world got infected one day and everyone had the zombie virus all of a sudden?
Well, interestingly enough, I haven't seen Fear the Walking Dead, and everything else has kind of started a bit after the outbreak.
Yeah. Like, so we don't really know how, right?
I guess the games start off somewhat close to the outbreak. Both the 400 Days DLC and some of the flashbacks, as well as, or some of the earlier scenes, as well as the start of the first game when you're playing as Lee.
Yeah.
Because that is still regular society. Like, Lee is in a police vehicle.
Exactly.
Being brought... I'm not even sure. Is he brought to prison? But because that would normally be done, like,
he might be taken to some type of facility or maybe court. Maybe he's just being arrested. I don't know. He's conducting mischief.
In 400 Days, we were on a prison bus. So those things happened, and then it was just zombies attacking out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So I suppose it would be weird if it just started at one point. I mean, of course, it comes out of nowhere. People didn't prepare for this, and so a lot of people are going to get turned in the first few days. Yeah. That makes sense, but then by that logic, it wouldn't spread really outside of the boundaries of like the continent.
What would make sense to me is if only people who get bitten and die by a zombie bite would then be infected and turn into zombies themselves.
Well, but the virus itself apparently in The Walking Dead is airborne, and if you get infected that way, the only way you get transformed though is if you die. But for some reason, if you get bitten, at least earlier on in the series, it's that you then basically turn right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Which doesn't make any sense if it's the same virus, but...
maybe the virus evolved, I don't know. Maybe the plot just needed it to be that way.
Yeah, because that's kind of odd, and then at some later point in the series, I haven't watched all of it, but they actually make a point where it's like, oh yeah, we're all infected anyways, the zombie bites aren't more dangerous than other types of bites, and it's like...
Yeah.
But earlier on, people just turned right after being bitten.
Alright.
And...
yeah, that's just... I think
it seemed a bit odd to me.
I haven't watched it at all, by the way. I've just played the Telltale games. But, okay, let's get into the idea. So, in a very much earlier podcast, over a year ago probably, we debated about how we would proceed in a kind of situation like that if that were to happen in real life. What would be the best survival chances? Kind of theory crafting universe like that, and thinking about how to go about, saving our ass.
Curiously enough, the people in the Walking Dead universe did not have the ability to prepare for the zombie apocalypse because zombie fiction did not exist in that universe.
For some reason. Yeah, that's also very, very interesting.
That's like the one thing that's different from that universe besides the zombie apocalypse itself.
Yeah, very suspicious.
That's also why they're never referred to as zombies.
Oh, they don't even know what they are?
Because the
word doesn't even never even established.
The word just never existed.
Alright, that's weird. So if it happened in real life, we might be a little bit better prepared, but it would still be a bit of a kerfuffle, I guess.
Yep, I mean, only crazy people would legitimately... Not that anyone who might be listening to this and is legitimately prepared for the zombie apocalypse. No, but
if it, look who's crazy if it happens. They'll be laughing
of course.
At you.
No, but like if you're specifically preparing for a zombie apocalypse, that seems a bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah, there's more things to do with the time. I
naturally,
guess.
Of course, a lot of the preparations for the zombie apocalypse might also be helpful in other cataclysmic situations that might be more reasonable.
Earthquakes or something if you have a shelter on the ground or some area where...
Also just like canned food, water...
Prep stuff up.
So it's not necessarily bad for those preparations, but the zombie apocalypse itself,
if I had all kinds of riches, I'd be having like a bunker with all sorts of food in there.
I mean, that's definitely also a thing that happened a lot when people were afraid of, like, wars and stuff.
Yeah, during the Cold War, people were doing that.
Yeah, especially during the Cold War.
In, like, the major cities, people did that. So, yeah, that seems interesting. But, okay, let's get into the topic, though. The idea is, like, 10, 20 years down the road, the majority of people alive now have never existed in the real world. They never knew the world before. Clementine's kind of on the brink because he was like 5 years old when the stuff went down.
I was about to point out the idea that that it would have to be a longer period of time, But then again, most people don't necessarily become 80 or anything like that because, like, if you're surviving like past your like your
20.
I mean 20 is still realistic, but like if you survive past like 50 or 60, I mean you're not going to be physically fit enough to fight in a zombie apocalypse scenario.
By that point, you need to be safe somewhere. Exactly. So
I mean, I guess gets us to our first point. Settlements of some sort will naturally be established. I mean,
have to.
We have seen that during the time that we've played The Walking Dead, and also the TV show, of course, for those who've seen it.
Doing that.
And the zombie apocalypse has only happened, I think the estimated time frame for when the final season takes place is
7 years?
7 to 8 years after the outbreak. So
Willie, by the time of gameplay of episode 3, is 12, by the way.
Yeah.
He got sent to the school of special needs before the zombie apocalypse, which happened 7 to 8 years ago. He got sent there for chronic masturbatory problems.
At least that's what he said.
That's what he said.
So with a optimistic estimate, he was 5.
Optimistic. That is at the higher end.
If we're going with 8 years, and that he's already been to the school for a few years before, well, we can't get much lower than 5.
Can't get much lower than that. Like 4 or 5 years. There's problems there with Willie.
Yes,
but, and his Willie. We go watch the episode, by the way. I should have mentioned spoilers. We're gonna spoil.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's not necessarily something that's important to not get spoiled.
Also, fun fact,
it's more situationally funny.
For the thumbnail for that episode,
you put Willie.
I put Willie.
Yeah.
While saying chronic masturbation.
While saying chronic masturbation. I knew you did.
I intentionally framed it in such a way that if you were to be able to see the thumbnail in a larger situation than the normal, like, tiny thumbnail on the video, you can actually see that it says chronic masturbation in the bottom.
Wonderful. That's exactly what I thought that you were going to do, and you absolutely went out and did it. So, yeah, settlements, I guess. I mean, there's no other way to really survive long term. You can't, like, you know how dangerous it is walking around in the woods, right?
Yes, also,
whatever we do in the game, like, within 5 minutes, we're being attacked.
Also, the problem is, in the early days, the main way to acquire food was scavenging.
Yep.
Problem is, you're only scavenging supplies from the pre-outbreak times.
Mm-hmm.
Those are gonna, A, run out, and B, not everything that was around then necessarily stays good for that.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the cans and all that, sure, but the fresh fruit in the grocery store.
But even then, like the cans, they're gonna run out.
Eventually, yes. So at some point, you're gonna have to grow your own food.
Yeah, and I mean that was also something that we thought of when we planned our own survival and zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
So that's what we see in some places stuff. For example, remember Carver's place? He had his like big greenhouse.
Yeah.
And it was growing crops, and he was building up a little civilization here. Even the school kids that were walking out hunting some fish.
Didn't they also have a greenhouse that they later abandoned because it fell outside of the safe zone?
Right.
Because the safe zone got smaller all the time. Because
exactly.
We spotted one walker within what we previously called the safe zone, yeah. So now we're just making that smaller. Exactly. Rather than reinforcing the borders or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's weird, actually. It makes no sense. But that's definitely the most important one, because you got to be able to sustain yourself long term, right?
Yeah.
And I guess people eventually, if humanity in decent amounts will successfully survive that kind of environment for a generation or two, I guess people will become better at it too, because they'll be adapted to it. They'll have never known anything else. Like AJ never knows anything else.
They'll grow up knowing how to deal with those situations, and hopefully most of them grow up around adults that can actually teach them how to interact with people as well.
Which is probably true, because those adults survived up until this point, so they gotta know a thing or two about what they're doing.
Yeah, because you don't want to have someone who just randomly shoots people.
You don't want to have like Larry teaching you anything about the zombie. That old bastard.
I was just trying to hint at the fact that AJ shot someone.
Well, sure. AJ did shoot several people, actually.
Yeah. AJ, I mean, most of the time it was justified.
Most of the time?
I mean, I guess all the time it was justified, yeah.
He shot 2 people.
Yeah.
One of which was justified.
Well.
That's exactly what happened.
Well.
Exactly that way. Like, shooting Lily is justified. Shooting Marlon is not justified. He didn't shoot. He didn't shoot Abel for. I like Marlon. He didn't shoot Abel, even though you can tell he wanted to.
Yeah.
But then we killed him before. So, yeah, that's AJ for you. But yeah, like a guy like AJ, he'll be. I mean, he'll probably know what it takes to survive.
Yes.
When he turns like 20 or something,
he right now is not the best at making friends, which sounds like a trivial thing. But in building a community to sustain yourself is actually a very important
But he's
skill.
a little dude still. He's like, what, like 6 or something? 6 or 7.
I mean, he can't be older than 7 by the time that we established because he was born during the apocalypse.
Exactly. So he's probably like 6 or 7 years old, so not very old. Which means that once he grows up, he'll be ready for that stuff. And then, you know, kind of the next generations, they'll be adapted. They'll get better at it, because those who don't survive, well, then of course they'll die out. And it is kind of a survival of the fittest in the more literal sense that, like, you personally gotta fight for survival, right? To a degree against others.
The more, once again, civilization gets established or reestablished, the less of an issue that becomes.
I mean, we've seen full cities, right, David? In the season 3, they had like a full city build up with politics going on, and that was a civilization.
That definitely was.
So there still is a lot of strongholds. We've only been walking around like Georgia, and I don't know. Well, in the south, I don't know how far we've gone throughout the country at this point.
I'm pretty sure that would be something we could look up, but of course we're not going to do that right now. I think that is the first step, is when they start growing plants, and we've seen that in the game. I think the next step would be possibly cattle, if you can find some.
If you can find some to breed, yeah.
But that would have to, on some level, be the next step. I mean, meat is not necessarily a requirement, but it definitely makes...
Yeah, it's never bad to have in an emergency situation because of a calorie density, right?
Yeah, it definitely also makes it easier to have a balanced diet, and also, we're not just talking about meat. I mean, chickens lay eggs.
Yeah. Like,
pretty much any mammal can be milked.
Any high calorie food is important in those situations, because you never know when you're going to eat next time.
And then, I guess, the bigger thing is that the society would somewhat rebuild in a similar way, develop as historically, but of course much faster, because in the beginning there's still people that remember.
There's knowledge.
And there's still leftovers from our society.
We still have like tools.
Yeah.
And all that. So the other kind of variable that plays into this is like how the zombie thing generally develops. Right? Is there going to be at some point no more zombies when they're all dead?
Well, I mean, you would figure that there aren't going to be any more, that the current zombie population will be destroyed at some point. Like
the wild ones, right?
Yeah, and there's going to be minor outbreaks every now and again.
There'd have to be like policies in every city that someone who dies needs to have their brain destroyed.
Yeah, I think an easy way to do it would be, for example, to just burn all the dead.
Yeah, or just shoot them
to make sure, but of course,
anything like that, right?
And if you deal with that, then there should be no future zombies. And naturally, by every now and again, when a zombie gets encountered, they'll be killed.
Yeah.
Assuming they don't starve, there will every now and again be some smaller packs that maybe aren't found yet.
Yeah.
But at some point, they will be hunted to extinction. And while they have the advantage over other extinct species that they can come back, by
someone dying, you have to take good care of them.
Every now and again, there's going to be someone where someone drags someone else's body somewhere
and forgets, and they turn,
yeah, and there's going to be a minor outbreak, but I feel like those can also be somewhat easily contained because people know how to deal with it.
I think if society or civilization, humanity outlasts that, like the first outbreak, the major outbreak, like the current wave, then should be possible to sustain themselves through others.
Yeah.
Because eventually there'll be more humans again and less zombies, and it should be possible to rebuild. So I guess the world will never be completely overran. But we've already seen before that it's like people react quite surprised when they encounter humans. So it's not like there's a lot of people still around.
Well, and the biggest problem there is that they're killing each other.
Yeah, exactly. There's infighting, and that's the other thing, right? That's not necessarily the most productive thing if the numbers are already dwindling.
I mean, from a storytelling standpoint, it makes perfect sense.
Of course, you don't want
You need to have conflict to drive a story, and zombies aren't interesting.
Yeah, they can't really have any, like, politics,
Like,
right?
I'm sorry, but zombies themselves aren't interesting.
No.
The surrounding ideas are.
Yes.
But the zombies themselves are just slow, and they want to eat you.
Yeah, exactly. They're just the dumbasses, right? But they're a persistent threat. They can't really do politics or create interesting conflicts, convoluted stories.
Like, you can tell a story about zombies only so long before it has to be about something else, or it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I would agree. So, conclusion would be possibly society can be reestablished once we've managed to kind of create a stronghold, civilization,
I think
stabilize.
I think we're looking at just fast tracking through history in a way.
Yeah.
Where you see that in the beginning of the games, you're basically hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, sure. You're just running around.
And then you see people are starting to build their own towns again.
They're stabilizing, exactly.
And then, farming is a thing. And again, there's always some left over from the old society, but mostly we're fast-tracking through a lot of the stages of human history while on the side killing zombies.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the hurdle that needs to be overcome. Once the first wave, like, of the plague is killed off, and it's like the general idea is under control, it's all understood how it works, because that wasn't the case in the beginning either. People didn't understand how it works, right?
Yeah.
So people would die and then just leave him lay because he's dead now, and they didn't know that he was going to turn. For example,
he wasn't even bitten. How would we know?
Exactly. And later, they knew that when, for example, like they had Larry or other people and they had to kill them, then they specifically targeted the heads, right?
Yeah.
But in the beginning, who knows? It was always about, you get bitten by a dog, no problem. Get bitten by a zombie, tough break.
Yeah.
But now, you die regularly, your brain is destroyed, you're still a walker.
And another interesting aspect, I think, is the idea of technology.
Alright.
Because, of course, to a certain technological level, like mechanical stuff...
Firearms.
Will be retained, but firearms can be maintained, and ammunition can be made.
Electricity?
Tough.
Probably not.
I mean, there's no electrical grid.
Yeah. It's probably, infrastructure is probably destroyed.
And so...
That needs to be rebuilt.
The rebuilding will probably start after all the people that had the knowledge on the subjects are already dead. I mean, for starters, because it's generally not the jocks that know that stuff, and those are the people that get eaten first. And second of all, just because of the time frame.
Yeah.
And that's not the important knowledge to pass down in the short term.
Exactly. So people might have to
so there's going to be an interesting
figure some stuff out.
Interesting mix of coming up with the same ideas that have been had before and rediscovering stuff from like written account or
once
digital can't really work.
Once the thing is overcame, it's still like humanity is set back 100 or 200 years.
And I think that actually, like, books and magazines about technology will be something that's going to have a really high value in the rebuilding world.
If there's still stuff like that left over, people can figure out how it worked.
Or generally also, like, pieces of technology, even if they're broken, you might be able to learn on how they were built and then use that to develop your own technology again.
So basically be like the last 100 years, but a little bit accelerated, a little bit aided, but also with different or more difficult circumstances with the whole zombie thing going on. Needing to be more careful with how to handle the dead is essentially what we're saying. But that's definitely an interesting thought experiment. Let us know your opinion on that. How would stuff shape up?
I kind of want to see like a similar idea to how they did 400 Days for The Walking Dead. Have like a game where they tell like different stories, like set in different time frames. Like you have like, it could even be like a full Telltale game.
Yeah.
And then you have like a time jump before the next one, like 10
years.
years, 15 years, something like that. And then you see how the society as a whole, or the now building society, then develops. Yeah.
I'm hoping there's going to be more seasons anyway. Even though it's called the final season, there should be more.
Well, I mean, they have said that it's the final season of Clementine's story, not necessarily of the Walking Dead Telltale universe.
So there might be more.
To be fair, they said that before they closed down.
Yes.
But there's not necessarily
maybe Skybound picks this stuff up.
Exactly, they could. I assume they have the rights. I mean, not just the license to do the next games, but maybe even the rights to do more.
They'll just change it from the final season to the finally arrived fourth season of many to come. That's what I'm gonna do this name.
Yeah, no.
I'm calling it. Do it though. I'd like to play more. It's pretty good. But
yeah, it is pretty good.
Let us know your opinion. How would you go about defending yourself in a zombie apocalypse? Any good suggestions? What would your strategy be? Let us know in the comments. Join the Discord, by the way. And let's get into the halftime show. What do we have, man? You want to tell the people what we have?
Since I'm bad at everything, you are gonna have.
How about programming?
And yeah, okay. I'm not. That was hyperbole.
Mathematics.
You know that it was hyperbole. The point is...
Seeing with glasses that are specifically the ones designed to be on your face.
Yeah. I actually had a tough time with those the first week or so. But anyways.
At this point, you're probably better with that specific pair of glasses than most people in the world would be.
Yes. The point is...
Bench press.
Yeah, exactly. That is something that I am indeed bad at. Now, the point is... There's always those things that... You think I should know, but I don't.
That happens so much.
And one of those things is, or might be, which expansion is this Hearthstone card from?
Yeah, like I asked you.
There's been so many expansions, man.
There's been so many do you know the cards? At least the standard ones you should absolutely know. If they're at all ever played, right?
Yeah, I probably know the card, but it's not gameplay relevant from which expansion it is. Unless... it is from Angoro, because then it should be relevant for at least the Trailblazer value.
Correct. Obviously, right?
But that also
like,
seems
for example,
not relevant enough.
Like, for example, we looked at a bunch of cards, and for example, like Bone Mare. Would you have known where it's from?
That is indeed from Knights of the Frozen Throne.
That is correct. But I got a list of a bunch of cards. I'm going to ask JJ.
It's 7 mana and gives +4/+4, right?
It's 8 mana.
I know, I was joking because of the
Not
nerfs.
quite. It also gives taunt.
Yes, but because of the nerfs.
Yeah, I know. It used to be 7. It used to be really, really good. 7 mana, 9/9 with 4 of that being charged. Cast Better Blessing of Might. Pretty good. We're going to get into all these cards and see how many you can get. So first one is Corpse Taker.
It's Corpse Taker.
It's Corpse Taker. The reason that people run Wind Fury Harpy.
Alright. See, the funny thing is, I'm not entirely certain. It's Cobalt?
It's not Cobalt.
Alright. It's probably Frozen Throne.
Yeah, it's Frozen Throne.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That actually makes more sense, yeah.
Okay, Calamos.
Oh god. Well, I mean, Calamos, he's from Angoro.
He's from Angoro, correct.
Obviously.
I was thinking you might say classic set.
Why would I say classic?
Well, it seems like a legendary has always been there, like an iconic one at this point.
But that would be Alikir the Windlord. Calamos is a... Wait, no, Calamos is a neutral.
Calamos is neutral, yeah.
Right. I associate him with Cham because it's the only place where he's played.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, no, right, he's a neutral.
He's played in like even Shaman.
But still, his whole shtick is the elemental stuff, which hasn't
he's
existed
from
back in the day.
Angoro, that's correct. Reckless Dire Troll.
Well, that would have to be from Rastakhan's Rumble, right?
That is correct, because it's a troll.
Yeah.
Do you know what it does?
Wait, it's the discard one, right?
Yeah.
It discards
your lowest
cards?
Your lowest cost cards. You're talking about the Soul Warden, which returns 3 cards.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, no. It's discards lows, yeah.
Dragon Caller Alana.
That would, however, I'm fairly certain be from Kobolds and Catacombs.
That is correct, because you're playing that too, right?
Yes, I do play that.
Deranged Doctor.
Wait, is that the one that heals you, that restores your hero by 8?
Yeah.
Then that is from the Witchwood, right?
That is from the Witchwood. 8 mana, 8/8, restores your hero by 8.
Because he's a Worgen.
Correct. Grizzled Guardian.
Wait, that's also... Is it also Worgen?
I don't know.
If so, it's also from the Witch.
I think it's a Grizzly, to be honest. But yeah, it's from the Witch, but it recruits 2 small things. Crushing Walls.
That is from Cobalt and Catacombs as well, because it has the whole dungeon theme to it.
That is
the crushing
correct.
walls.
Chillmaw.
I'm gonna that one I'm not sure, but I'm gonna guess it's probably Frozen Throne.
It's from the Grand Tournament.
Oh, it's not even standard.
Curveballs. No, it's on standard. It sounds like a Frozen Throne card all the way, but it's Grand Tournament. Moat Lurker.
That's also a bit of an older one. It's been around for a while. I'm honestly, Jesus Christ.
Moat Lurker.
This card has existed for a while.
It has existed for a while.
It definitely wasn't in one of the sets that we reviewed every single card of because of the Hearthstone report, but then again, there's only been 2 so far.
That is correct.
So that's not necessarily helpful.
It's not Boomsday, and it's also not roster count.
Is it Frozen Throne?
It is Karazhan.
It's Oh.
Also not a standard card anymore.
Right. I know it's been around for a while, but it's been around for a while.
And last but not least, final card. This one I'm interested in if you can get it. Despicable Dreadlord.
Despicable Dreadlord.
Despicable Dreadlord. You know exactly what it does, who he is, but where's he from?
Wait, Despicable... It is the card I'm thinking of, right? The one that deals 1 damage to every enemy?
Yeah. 4/5 demon.
That's classic.
No.
It's not a classic card?
It's from the Frozen Throne.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say classic.
I could have sworn. It seems like such a staple.
I know it does, but it's from the Frozen Throne. That's what I was looking for.
It rotates.
Yeah, it rotates. Correct. Despicable Dreadlord rotates. Mad. I'm also not mad. I hated this card in the beginning. I really used to hate this, but no, I'm not mad at all.
That explains why I haven't seen it back in the day.
Yeah, because it wasn't around.
Yeah.
That's correct. So,
I mean, to be fair, if it's a strong card, and it hasn't been played back in the day, I guess I can figure that it's not a classic.
Exactly. Well, maybe it wasn't strong enough back in the day, because you know how the meta gets weaker?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Perpetually. Remember how strong the Nax and GVG metas were compared to today's cake? No, just kidding. But that's
GVG, good times.
Never played it, bad times. Glad I never did. It's the least cool expansion on my entire. We made a list of the coolest expansions, and this is the least cool on my entire list.
You know what? I was really hyped when they announced Nax back in the day.
Yeah, it was the first thing they ever did.
Well, they did Classic before.
Yeah, but in terms of expanding, right?
Yeah, so
Nax is out, people.
I mean, it's like, oh my god, they're adding single player content.
They're
adding new cards.
It's crazy.
It's so cool. It's
amazing. And now these days we got everything. People are going nuts.
Yeah, these days it's just routine and
so
Rumble Run isn't interesting at all.
Rumble Run, it's alright. I mean, I've done the necessary thing I need to do for the card back. I'm not interested.
Win once. Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing with every shrine.
Exactly, right? It's like the shrines don't seem that interesting.
Yeah, single player content is not rewarding enough for me for that. But let's get into the fact of the week, and after that we have a second topic with some more quizzes online. This time we'll both being quizzed. Facts of the week. JJ, what is your fact of this particular week?
Well, I told them the word. Alright, so I totally stole this one.
Yeah, I know you stole this.
You were there when I did it.
That's so correct. I was there when you discovered it.
Okay, first of all, bonus fact. The quiz site Jetpunk that we have used quizzes for in the past and will also in the future, as in right after this, has fun facts at the bottom of every quiz.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're randomized, so if you click the same quiz twice, it might be different. However, I learned something from that I want to share with everyone.
Today I learned.
That is a YouTube channel.
That's also a subreddit.
Alright. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. What do you learn today, man?
This is a method for data collection called unmatched count or item count.
Yes.
Where they ask a question that they expect people might not answer truthfully, so they find a way to make it very clear to people that they can't know what they answered, so that they will answer truthfully. And the way they do this is they split the people that take the test in 2 groups.
Yep.
One is a control group, which gets just a list of questions, relatively simple ones, relatively harmless ones. The other group gets the same questions, plus one extra question, which is the one that they think people might lie about.
Plus the question, what did you get sent to the special ed school for, Willie?
It's yes or no questions. I should have probably mentioned in the beginning. It's yes or no questions.
Alright. Did you get sent here for chronic masturbation or not, Willie?
I mean, he seemed proud of it.
Yeah, he was proud of it too. Just ask that question to anyone there. You probably get one yes, as it pertains to...
And then they count up the yes to no ratio in the control group and compare it to the other group.
Yeah.
And then based on that, they will be able to tell, because people will likely answer with the same ratio on the first questions, they can then extrapolate how many people answered yes on the last question that they added. Now, that does have more deviation than if it just asked regularly.
Yes.
But it makes people answer more truthfully.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. That's a very interesting thing. Would have been more interesting to me if I didn't know it before.
Well,
but we both literally read the Wikipedia article together when we found it an hour ago. You know what's another interesting fact and not quite as lengthy an explanation? Have you heard of the brand Colgate?
Yes.
Toothpaste and all?
Yeah, I was going to say they make toothpaste.
You know what Colgate literally means translated into Spanish?
I do not know what
it means. Go hang yourself.
I assume you mean translated from Spanish, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Colgate in Spanish means go hang yourself.
I know what you're trying to say. That's
I'm not sure if they renamed the brand in Spain or if it's just called Colgate.
I mean, that reminds me of the whole explanation for why supposedly they changed the name for Shinsuke Nakamura's finisher.
Yes.
Where it supposedly said something offensive, but I think in truth it's just also a brand name, so...
Maybe.
So they couldn't use it.
Yeah, maybe. But there we go. That's a nice, interesting fact of the week. If anyone's from Spain or knows someone from Spain, let us know. Or Mexico, whatever. Is it called Colgate over there? I'd actually want to know that. That would be pretty cool. So, second topic. We have quizzes. What are we doing?
Yeah, this time, once again, we're pulling quizzes from Jetpunk. Which, I should note, we did not for the halftime show, in case anyone was
wondering. I made that up myself. Creativity.
I mean, it was hinted at. And this time, we got answers by letter quizzes.
Answer by letter. We started with A, B, and C, believe it or not.
And so do our answers. Which is the whole point of the quiz.
That is correct. You're getting questions, and all the answers need to start with the letter A in case of the first quiz, with the letter B in the second quiz. You get the point.
The explanation for how it works is basically in the description for the A answer quiz, number 1, an eclectic collection of things that start with A.
Yes, that is correct.
It should say an A. Just so you could... It starts with A. An A.
With a full stop.
Anyway.
It starts with a full stop.
Yes.
Alright, let's see. A answer quiz. Largest artery in the body. That should be the aorta.
Yes.
Hero who died from an arrow to the heel.
That would be Achilles.
How do you die? I've heard arrow to the knee, but to the heel. Hitler's first name.
That's Adolf.
Sea between Greece and Turkey. I should, for all intents and purposes, know that. Let's get into the next one and see if I can come on.
London, a Premier League team of a place to put weapons.
Or a place to put weapons.
Armory?
Armory?
That sounds weird.
What's an armory? What's a place to put weapons?
That's a place where you put weapons. That's where you store them.
Arsenal?
Arsenal, right.
That's where you put weapons.
That is a soccer team, yes.
That's a soccer team? I didn't even know that. Steven Tyler's band.
Aerosmith.
Dutch, like...
I feel like we had the question the other way around once for somewhere, and I didn't know it.
Dutch, like language of South Africa.
That's Afrikaans.
Yeah. Plant used to make tequila.
We also had that before somewhere. I think
we do.
We definitely had and how to make this alcohol question.
I'm just gonna say that you're a liquor guy, and I don't know.
I don't know how to make liquor. I just drink it.
Arabic word for God, Allah. Medical term for hair loss. Oh man.
I don't know.
Member of the Church of England.
I mean, there's probably a lot of members of the Church of England whose names start with an A.
Yeah, just some dude called...
I assume that they mean
Andy.
how they call people,
no,
but
no.
I don't know.
Biter of Cleopatra.
Biter of...
What? Queen Victoria's husband.
You probably know that.
Nope.
Okay. Nut of an oak tree. That's an acorn.
That's an acorn, yes. Father of Isaac, husband of Sarah.
That
Bible stuff?
That is Bible stuff. The only biblical character I can think of is Abel. It might be, oh no, it's probably Abraham. There's multiple Abrahams in the Bible, by the way.
It's Abraham. Capital of South Australia. Capital of South Australia. Adelaide?
How do I even spell it?
Adel?
Adel?
Aide.
A-I-D. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
South by Southwest American city.
Austin.
Yes. First name of singer Levine.
Avril.
Program that landed people on the moon.
Apollo.
Cruise.
Yes.
Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Axis.
Title of the Khomeini and Khamenei.
I got no clue.
Ayatollah. Oh, that's also misspelled.
Okay, then just tell me how to spell it.
I think, I'm not even sure, but AYATOLLAH. Yeah, there you go. First name of Arthur Rand.
There's probably multiple. I would guess there's multiple whose first name starts with an A.
Yeah.
It's not that rare of a last name.
I'm not even sure. Portuguese archipelago in the Atlantic.
It says archipelago. But
Alright, in the Atlantic. I can't read from here. In the
civilization conquered by Cortez is the Aztec.
Yep. So we're missing sea between Greece and Turkey.
Plant used to make tequila.
You're the liquor guy, I'm not.
I mean, I can just come up with plants that start with an A.
Yeah. Not avocado.
Avocado. That's the only plant I could come up with that starts with an A right now.
Acorn.
We already used that.
Yes, but it's a plant that... should we know any of those? I think we should.
A member of the Church of England should maybe be possible. You said you should know the sea between Greece and Turkey.
Yeah, I should know the sea between Greece and Turkey.
I feel like Queen Victoria's husband should be possible.
Want to guess names?
I mean, that's also something that would definitely be possible. Just guessing names.
Right.
First name of Arthur Rand is also another thing where we can guess male first names start with an A. And
you want to keep guessing male first names, and I'll see if I can come up with the C.
Neither one of them is called Arthur.
Okay.
Or Alfred.
Andy. Alex.
Who's called Alex?
I don't know. Just only bums are called Alex. Nope. You just typed Antonidas. What the fuck? I was about to say...
It wasn't a joke.
I was about to say Antoine. Not
Seems far-fetched for either one. I mean,
yeah,
I guess Antoine Rand could be a real name.
Of course not.
I don't know. I guess we're giving up.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's only 7 seconds left. It was
right.
Albert for the husband.
Yeah,
and
Albert.
Ayn for the author.
Ayn Rand. That's weird. The Azores. Yeah, I could have totally had that.
Agave was the plant.
Yep. Asp is a biter of Cleopatra as asp. I'm pretty sure that most people didn't know that.
I've heard the word before. Okay, so the average score 16. We scored 16, which equals or beats 49% of test takers.
Yep.
Which is related to rounding.
Exactly. So, most known one is unsurprisingly Adolf
The
Hitler.
least well-known one altogether was the South by Southwest American city.
Really? What? Why?
I knew that.
Yeah,
I don't know a lot of general things.
That's awesome. So, the most known one that we didn't get is the Aegean Sea between Greece and Turkey, and Albert actually. Asp? People knew Asp? What?
To be fair,
In the Azores.
wow. Also meaning the least known thing is only 39% of people, so And that means that a lot of the lesser known things were very interchangeable, which ones people knew or didn't know.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff around, like, 50-40-ish.
It's it's weird. But let's get into number 2,
also,
man.
Most of the ones that we didn't get were in the bottom half of not known things, so we did actually do...
About, right. So, B.
Johann Sebastian
Bach. Yes. Most common tiger subspecies, Bengal.
Oh, you're right.
1992 Olympic host city.
The thing is, we know that because it's Barcelona.
Right, it's Barcelona.
Because we just did a quiz before this where that was in there.
Bend it like him.
Beckham.
Odell Beckham Jr.
How do you even spell Beckham?
B-E-C-K?
K, okay.
H-A-M.
Beckham, okay, fair enough.
Deer who is friends with Thumper. Bumper?
I was about to say, is that a Christmas reindeer thing? No, it's not.
No. Canada's largest island.
That's your type of question.
Yeah. With a B? Damn. Let's move on. Capital of Iraq is Baghdad. Ancient city with hanging gardens. That's Babylon.
Babylon, yeah. Ugh.
Former home of baseball's Dodgers. Man, where did Dodgers come from, man?
It starts with a B.
Yeah, they're in LA now. Try Boston or something. I don't know where the Dodgers played before. Honestly. Certain chess piece. Bishop.
Why did it take me so long?
Former Destiny's Child member. Right?
It's a band, that's all I know.
Yeah. Another name from Myanmar. Burma. Not with an E. I think U or I in the beginning. Yeah, it's a U. So, German word that means lightning war. Blitzkrieg. Slayer of Grendel.
Beowulf.
Subgroup epitomized by Jack Kerouac.
I got no clue.
Nickname from Mumbai's film industry.
That's Bollywood.
French prison stormed in 1789. Bastille.
Oh, right.
What giant pandas eat? Mostly.
Bamboo.
Why
did a lot of those seem so familiar?
Where Jesus was born. The fuck was Jesus born, man? I thought he was born in Nazareth. Bethlehem.
No, yeah.
Right. University of California flagship campus.
University of California flagship. I don't know.
Flagship campus? What am I missing? Famous fictional Kazakhstani?
Yeah,
Borat.
From Kazakhstan.
Borat.
Oh, okay.
Obviously. With a T in the end. Singing register between tenor and bass. Baritone. With a E, with an I. Bari.
Oh, right, yeah.
What? What the hell?
Anyways,
Siddhartha Gautama. What?
Peking.
Yeah, Beijing.
Yeah. Okay, there's some that we should...
Yeah, there's some we should definitely know.
I mean, Canada's largest island seems like something you would know. The former home of the Dodgers is something that one could probably guess just based on the letter. University campus, I don't know necessarily. The single register, it seems like something... That seems like something...
Berkeley, obviously, right? I didn't know... Oh, God, I didn't know what they meant. No. B-E-R-K-L-E... There we go. Cal Berkeley. Obviously. Oh, man. I was confused there on a flagship campus. Former home of the Dodgers. Where the Dodgers play, man? I should know that.
Do you want to get some time, or should we give
Let's
up?
give up and just compare. I'm not trying to...
You got 17 out of 24. The average score is 16, which
means
you're better than people.
Bambi is the... the deer.
Oh.
Baffin is the Canada's largest.
Brooklyn Dodgers.
Brooklyn Dodgers. Dang it.
Oh, Beyonce is the former
right.
Destiny's Child member.
Beatnik.
I've heard it before. It's a subgroup epitomized by.
You just misspelled baritone.
Oh. Fair enough.
I'm counting that, and the Buddha is that thing.
Bambi was one of the most known ones.
Yeah,
well,
we failed on that one.
in like the top 6 or 7, but still.
Flat out failed. For 84% we failed. What giant pandas eat mostly is bamboo. Most people knew. The thing is, more people knew that than knew Bach. And he was on the picture. He was the first question. The hell? Crazy.
It's a really easy question.
Yeah, 42%. Yeah, it is.
The first one, that is.
Yeah.
The bamboo one is the very
but
easier
still,
question.
Bach he's on the picture.
Yeah, but I can tell that's the easier question of the two.
For God's sake. So, Beowulf, Berkeley, Barcelona, the least known ones that we got.
Well, Beowulf is actually the third least known one in general.
After Canada's largest island, and
to be fair, it took me a second there to get the association.
I would have been deeply put to shame if I didn't come up with Berkeley. That was rough. But hey, I think we did decent. You want to get into number C? All right. French word for coffee.
I guess it's cafe.
Cafe. Just one F, one E.
I thought. Okay, where does that then come from? Anyways. Oh, wait.
Famous Wookiee.
And that's Chewbacca.
GM luxury brand.
Wait.
Chevrolet?
I was about to say...
Probably not, right?
I don't know. Is it even...
No.
Didn't spell it correctly. I don't know. GM is General Motors for sure. That much I know.
I know that. What luxury brands do they produce? Let's get back there. Former name of Kolkata.
The same thing, but with a C?
Probably not.
I don't know. It's just a guess.
Is it Colombo? Probably not. Host city of the annual Stampede. That's somewhere in Spain, right? That's some Spanish thing.
Oh, that. I don't know.
Oh man, whatever. Is it Cordoba? Nope. England's second oldest university should be Cambridge.
Is there either?
No, there's not. Okay. Fun fact, Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire.
Yes, I know.
Coal mine warning bird.
Canary.
Blue canary in the outlet by the light switch. Army rank, one above lieutenant. Colonel? If you've read Joseph Heller's Catch-22, then you know all about this. What?
It's not colonel.
Is it not
cap? Is it captain?
It might be captain. It might be captain, yeah. Right. Capital of Wales.
Capital of Wales.
Oh, Christ. With a C, I should know that's... Wait. Oh, it's Cardiff, right? Is it Cardiff?
It's Cardiff, yeah. I was about to say, I know that for a fact because that's where Torchwood plays, but I couldn't come up with it right now.
Terrible. Soldiers on horseback. Cavalry. Yo-Yo Ma's instrument.
Who?
I don't know. Last name of designer Coco.
Got it.
Yeah.
Instrument with a C. I mean, is it?
Last name of designer Coco. Chanel, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Slang for helicopter.
Chopper.
Disease of the liver. Cancer?
I mean, that's not a specific liver thing, no.
Lover of Caesar and Anthony, Cleopatra. Sherlock Holmes' drug of choice. Is he doing coke?
I mean, I was about to say it have to be cocaine. And that's the only one that starts with a C.
London accent with rhyme and slang. Ah, man, what's it called?
No clue.
Yeah.
Where an airplane pilot sits. Chair?
The cockpit.
Cockpit, oh.
The chair. This isn't a chair.
I mean...
That's wrong.
That's where people sit.
Yeah. Lisa Minnelli movie.
Who's Lisa Minnelli?
I don't know. Biggest city in Africa. Cape Town? 2 words. No.
That's probably... That might be the biggest in South Africa, but no, just...
Cairo? Yeah, it's Cairo. River that carved the Grand Canyon. The Colorado River, right? Yeah. Obviously. Manager of a museum collection. Curator.
Oh, right.
The friendly ghost. Casper.
That's one that I remember.
Mao's job title. There we go with the chair. Chairman Mao. Alright. GM's luxury brand. What luxury car brands are there? They start with C.
I mean, there's still a chance that I misspelled it, but,
I don't think it was... No, it's not Chevy. I don't think it is. What's a Spanish city with C?
I'm not good with cities and stuff.
Cities and stuff. Disease of the liver.
See, that's one that I would be able to more likely get than a Spanish city.
Yeah, you would be more likely to catch a disease of the liver. That is correct. With the way you're drinking?
We haven't established that's related to drinking anything in particular.
No, but you're more likely to get a disease of the... You just said it so well, I had to. What? I should get some of these, man. GM luxury brand.
I feel like this is the point where we give up
to
save time, to not make this too drawn out.
Beat the average. It's Cadillac. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that is
terrible.
Calcutta,
Calgary. Calgary? Then it's not that. Then it's not the thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, well,
cirrhosis is
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Cockney is the London accent.
Oh, Cockney. Yeah.
Dude, we're terrible at this. And Cabaret is the least known.
To be fair, Cockney was the most well-known one that we did not get.
We are terrible at this. 91% got cafe, being the French word for coffee.
9% got Casper, 89% got cockpit. I mean,
the thing is that shocks me is that
steep fall
47% only got the job title of Mao. It's Chairman Mao. Like, how does just 1% not know that? Let alone 53%. What? Host City of the Annual Stampede Calgary, 31% is the least known one. And then the Liza Minnelli movie. Cabaret. More people knew Cirrhosis, Cadillac, Calcutta, and Cockney than new chairman. Yes. That's disturbing to me. Also,
I wonder, for some of the questions, how many people actually knew the answer and how many people just guessed the answer.
Yeah.
Like, we as well as 57% of people got Yo-Yo Ma's instrument, the cello.
Yes.
Because it's an instrument that starts with the letter C.
Maybe a lot of people know cello musicians.
Yeah, but it's like, you don't have to, right? It's like...
No, you can guess.
Name an instrument with C. What's the first one that comes to mind?
Like cello, right?
Yeah, it's like, is there even another one? Probably.
Country guitar, and it's a Western guitar.
But you know, it's like... It's one of the, for me at least, was the first one that came to mind, so I just tried it.
That made sense. So I think we did well. I think we did okay, but we could do better.
I mean, we got 18, the average is 16 once again, so
it's alright. Next week we're probably gonna do we're gonna start with quiz D, maybe do E and F.
Yeah.
Depending on how long they are, I'll see. But that's those quizzes, man. Let us know how you would have done. Maybe if you played along, how did you do? Pixar didn't happen if you did better than us, by the way. Join our Discord server, TrashcanTV Discord server, invitation link.
Help, right?
What?
With pictures?
It helps.
Because you can just...
Stop telling them.
Alright.
Damn it, man! Now we need video evidence of you taking the entire quiz for the first time. If you want to claim that you're doing better than us. Anyway, join our TrashcanTV Discord server. Before we get into our songs of the week, submit your own. There's a playlist linked in the description. Viewer music submission, I believe? Suggestion. It's to suggest music from viewers.
I should just, for the kicks, just rename it every time we do a podcast to whatever you said.
You know, exactly right. You know what I mean by it, though. You drop a YouTube link in there to a music video with your song of the week, and if it's a good song, or even if it's a song at all, we'll like it. If you if you put, I don't know, like a cat video in there, I don't know, but music video, appreciated song of the week. We have some too, JJ. What is yours?
You know, like Smooth Criminal with every other beat missing.
Oh, that's great. Everyone go look that up. Smooth Criminal, but every other beat is missing. It's fantastic.
For stuff that people could put in music.
Yes.
Anyways.
I've done that before.
Okay, can you guess the band that my song of the week is from?
Sabaton.
I was hoping you were just going to say no, but that... Okay.
It's not Sabaton?
It's yes.
It's yes. Oh,
Which is...
okay. The thing is, you established a Sabaton pattern, so it didn't work that well because I kind of expected it.
Okay. It's Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes.
The band, yes. Have I heard of that band? I'm not even sure.
The point is, it would have been hilarious if you said you...
Yeah.
Can you guess a band? No. It's like, that's wrong. It's Yes.
Yeah. Maybe at some point you're going to have a band by the name of No, and then I'll get it right.
And like, who sang this song?
No.
It's like, guess who sang that song? No. You know when I asked you like, guess who sang that? Guess who sang the song or something? And I think you actually guessed the Who, but it was the Guess Who or something like that. Because because there's also puns.
Yeah, there's a lot of puns there. My song of the week is going to be Isolé by the Seekers.
Okay.
Not even sure if I've put it in the music share for you yet. I might have. I think I might have. You could look that up if you want to, but it's a pretty good song by the Seekers, band which I do like a lot these days. They're pretty good. Go listen to both those songs. Did you put yours in the music share, by the way, for me?
Yes.
Okay, great, because I didn't know it. So thank you for listening to Trash Talk podcast numbers 85 now?
86.
86 now? Jesus Christ. Time is flying by, man. We're both in college now. JJ is getting married this year. It's crazy. We're doing YouTube for 2 years.
Would you believe it if I told you that we have been in college since we started doing this?
Yeah, but still, like, think about it.
That's not a crazy argument for how time flies.
Time flies in general, man.
Yes.
We got 86 podcasts up here. That's 86 podcasts which I edited. And not just that, there's 400...
That is not true.
No, because you did the occasional one.
Yeah.
At some point. But there's so many videos, man. There's so much stuff. Time flies.
I mean, 86 sounds like a crazy number, but then consider that at this point we have like close to 520 videos.
That's a lot of videos, man.
510 something.
That's a lot of videos. Thanks for everyone for showing up. We're going to see you in the next one. JJ.
That's it.
That's it.